I wanted to talk about some things while I have the opportunity. I'm sure you heard of a certain topic going around and I really hope everything remains the same, but I just wanted to make this video to pretty much say thank you to all the people I met on the internet. I haven't been the most faithful person recently. The longer you stay on my channel, the easier you can see how my interests change on a seasonal basis. There are times that I wish I can talk about every show that I like in rapid succession, but it's been difficult balancing things out. I want to write original stories, but I realize that I haven't drawn anything for over a year. Time is really flying fast for me, and while I want to continue YouTube anime videos, I also want to create my own stuff. I was more focused this year with covering a good chunk of Lupin III and finally making a Gatchaman video. Now I want to cover Speed Racer and Fist of North Star and continue that route of uploading anime videos on the main series I want to talk about. Anime and manga that I should have talked about years ago. So applying all of these ambitions also made me acknowledge that I kinda ignore my friends a little too much. A couple of weeks ago I spoke to King of Kilps, and the previous time I spoke with him was probably a year or two. I always see him in the comment section or on Twitter, but to have an actual conversation, that was... well, the same could be said with the teams I've been a part of, being the Phantom Group and the Manly Clique. I understand that everyone is going through a lot of changes in their life, as well as we're all getting older. Some of us are nearing our 30s or older, and we're clearly still learning how life works when it comes to settling down, going through college, getting jobs, paying bills, raising kids, and other adult material. I just want to say that sometimes I wish things could be like 3-4 years ago, when everyone was very cheery and excited and we all talked to each other a lot, compared to now. Honestly, sometimes I think I ruined everything ever since the Hunter x Hunter abridged because I just didn't want to edit the video, and as the years passed by I discovered I don't like editing calls that are over an hour or 2 hours long. To make things better, I would need a new computer, or at least one that doesn't have a loud fan. Then I would be more comfortable in editing the calls. My friends have offered to help and they have done calls for me before, but sometimes I feel I'm just shoving the burden onto them just because I'd rather make a video for my own channel instead of a video made by everybody. It's those types of thoughts like that that make me feel like a very selfish person. Despite my complaints, I am grateful for knowing them because I'm not a very social person. The 2 real-life friends I had since elementary are currently not the most active with me. One of them has moved and busy with work, while the other has gotten in trouble, and we haven't been on good terms since. Sometimes I also felt like an asshole to them because there would be days where I'd rather talk to my Skype friends instead of the people I personally know. But honestly, what made me want to separate myself from them is they started doing drugs during high school, and that's led to a couple of events. But I think they improved in recent years. Maybe. There hasn't been much communication between the 3 of us, and I'm actually kind of okay with that. Maybe it's time for us to go our separate ways. I feel very independent, and honestly I've always had those thoughts before I even met them. I never really found someone I can trust during my elementary school days, and for a long while, these 2 friends of mine were people I could trust, but in the present day, that doesn't seem likely. It sounds very dickish, especially when we knew each other since the 4th grade, and lived around the same block for almost our entire school life. We would play a lot of Smash Brothers and Yu-Gi-Oh! During middle school and early high school, but as we got older, stuff got a bit messy in our personal lives. My high school experience had a fair amount of good and bad things, but the really bad stuff happened at home, which affected my mood during all of high school. I made a lot of desperate, careless decisions because of a certain lack of direction, but I blame myself. And as I'm now nearing 27 years of age, who recently had a sad experience, which you can find out more in my podcast with Merlin on the personal family matters, I've been curious how the rest of my life will turn out. There's many objectives that I need to accomplish. Some are dream goals, while the others relate to family. I don't know for certain if I've been a depressed person for a good chunk of my life, or have I always been someone who's remained optimistic when encountering struggles. But I certainly wouldn't want to change my past. There are some regrets, but what is done and I have to accept it. Things could change for the better if I choose to. It's not gonna be easy, and it may take an unbearable amount of time, but giving up is something I never like doing. Sure, I'm still young and inexperienced in many things, but I'm willing to face my life and all of its ups and downs, for I need to set an example. I want to thank King of Kilps and Anime Green for making the Green Clan and Team Otaku, because those collaborations allow me to interact with other people. I know some of my friends have been in a bad mood recently, but maybe what they're going through is nothing that I would understand, but at the very least, I'm grateful for meeting you, and I could say the same for my 2 other friends. This can apply to anyone watching this. Even if we don't always stay friends, I did enjoy our time together, and I hope you can overcome sadness and find happiness.
Maybe there's something about yourself that you don't like. A bad habit, maybe.
It's easy to say I can't change, but the truth is, you can change almost any behavior if you really want to.
And the first step is saying to yourself, I can.